Hello everyone. They call me Zay, and we need to talk. I know I haven't been active on this channel since the summer. I'm a college student, and school during the semesters makes it really difficult to spend 6 to 10 hours editing videos. I was planning on starting back up this summer, but the Super Mario Galaxy movie came out this week. And there's a lot of issues with it. I wanted to touch on it, not because I consider myself a hater, or because I have some sort of agenda against the movie. I just want to get my thoughts out there, and I want other people to understand how fans of the original game are thinking. Understand, I love Nintendo. I've been playing their games since I was 8 years old. My top 3 games of all time are Super Mario Galaxy, Tomodachi Life on the 3DS, and Breath of the Wild. Nintendo has meant a lot to me over the years, and I want to see them do well. As for my upbringing, I'm a homeschooled child of an independent Baptist preacher. My social life as a kid was incredibly confined. As for my schooling, I didn't have any friends growing up. And the people at my church, yeah, they were nice, but they were in their 60s while I was in my teens. I didn't really have people that I could connect with. That's when I really got into Nintendo games. They were something that allowed me to have access to a world where I could actually see something. I grew to love the characters that were in these games as if they were real people. Now, of course, I understood the difference between fiction and reality, but still, these characters, I developed a love for them, as have many other fans. Super Mario Galaxy is my favorite game of all time, and I've played a lot of games since then. I've played the Batman Arkham series, I've played Ghost of Tsushima, I've played Elden Ring, I've played major AAA titles, yet as good as they are and as much as I've enjoyed them, none of those games have even come close to taking the number 1 spot in my heart. The spot where Super Mario Galaxy sits. So when I heard that Nintendo was going to be celebrating their 40th year anniversary of Mario by giving us a year of Super Mario Galaxy, you could imagine that I was pretty excited. Several of the things that they decided to unveil were really cool, like the physical edition of Rosalina's Storybook. I got that pretty quickly. It sits in my room right now, and it's one of my prized possessions on my video game shelf. I'm also a big amiibo collector, so having 2 Mario Galaxy amiibos come out, both patterned off of characters that I love very much, it was really cool to see those. And seeing the trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, when it originally aired, man, I was really looking forward to seeing what could happen. There's so much potential for a movie that would reflect the story of Super Mario Galaxy, especially considering that Super Mario Galaxy has 2 fully fledged stories in it. Of course, there's the story of Mario going to rescue Peach and everything that he encounters there, and then there's the story of Rosalina and her backstory, where she came from, her origin with her parents, and her becoming the mother of the stars. As far as Mario goes, Rosalina is the closest thing to a deity that we've ever seen, at least in a canonical game. I very much, personally, respect Rosalina as well. There's a lot of good moral attributes that I see in her that I like, and I hope one day I can see reflected in myself. She's a good parent. Her children love her. And she strives not to form relationships with these children, but to prepare these children for their next step in life. She has a quiet elegance that I envy. I wish I had the amount of gravity and sobriety that she has. As a child, Rosalina became a role model for me, and seeing her collect the strays that she did, the orphans that she did, I oftentimes imagined myself as being one of her children. By 2014, my gamertag had been established, Son of Rosalina. The first place I used that officially was my Nintendo Network ID that I had on the 3DS. That was a long time ago, but even to this day, it's my Nintendo ID, it's my Steam ID, it's even my Discord ID. Rosalina's influence in my life has been significant, and I look up to her as my mama. I was extremely excited when I saw that this movie was going to be coming out. I knew that Rosalina wasn't in the first one, but I figured that they most likely put her in the second movie, especially considering its title. And when I saw her in the trailer the first time, I figured, okay, they're really going to be respecting her and her personage. I was wrong. The Super Mario Galaxy movie fails in two ways. Its title suggests two things. Number one, it's going to be a movie that reflects in some way or another the story of Super Mario Galaxy. And two, that it's going to be a good movie. It's going to have good storytelling, it's going to have lovable characters, a good plot, a story that people can get behind. And the Super Mario Galaxy movie fails in both of those ways. If you haven't noticed, this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see it for yourself, go watch it for yourself. I'm a huge advocate of thinking things through for yourself. So form your own opinions before you come looking to see what I think about this. For context, I've only seen the movie once. I got to see it the day after it came out. And I have not seen anyone else's review videos on this. I've seen a couple critics' reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen a couple audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm not sure how the final public perception of this movie is going to be. But I believe that what I think needs to be said. When it comes to this movie being a movie based on Super Mario Galaxy, it fails for a couple of reasons. Of course, the plot of the movie is that Rosalina gets captured by Bowser Jr., and Peach goes to rescue Rosalina, leaving Mario in charge of the Mushroom Kingdom. After a little bit of a run-in with Bowser Jr., Mario, Luigi, and their new friend Yoshi all go out to find Princess Peach to help her with her quest to save Rosalina. That's the entirety of the plot of the movie. There's 90 minutes of just that. There's no interesting sub-stories. There's no interesting character development for anyone. It's all just, these are the characters that we already know. We're going to throw a few new ones at you, but you already know them from the games previously. And there's not going to be much interesting that happens. On top of that, the characters that do get introduced, major ones, characters like Yoshi, characters like Bowser Jr., characters like Wart, they have little to no reason to be introduced. They're kind of just thrown at you. In the beginning scene, we see Mega Leg coming attacking the observatory, Rosalina fending him off but having to sacrifice herself in order to save her children. The hatch opens and it's revealed that Bowser Jr. is the one inside of Mega Leg controlling it. That's a really lame introduction to the character of Bowser Jr. It's a really lame introduction to any kind of character because you're seeing the threat before knowing who the person is who's causing the threat. He kind of just appears out of nowhere. There's no explanation given for him anywhere. The first movie never alludes to him. We of course get pictures and glimpses of him in trailers, but that's not introduction enough. There needs to be more of a reason that this character exists. Yoshi is thrown into this movie just for the sake of being Yoshi. He was seen inside of an egg still in the post-credit scene of the first movie, but again, there's no real reason that he exists other than, oh, he's in the games. It would be fun to have him in the movie. Wart exists entirely for the purpose of reference. That's something I'll get into a little bit later on in the video when talking about how this movie fails as just a good movie in general, but I would like to just put that out here right now. There are so many references made in this movie, as were in the first one, I'll admit, but at least in the first movie, there was somewhat of a coherent plot, even though there were references left and right that really hurt the integrity of the thesis of the movie. But the second movie sacrificed plot integrity for just references left and right. Birdo is now here, for no reason other than she's in the games and it would be funny to have her in the movie. The monkey from Mario 64. It's a little bit more understandable to have him in because you want to bring Princess Peach to where Wart is, but still, the entire point of Wart is pointless. So having a plot device to bring Princess Peach from where she is to Wart, that transition doesn't really work very well because the point of the transition is a bad one. When it comes to Rosalina herself, the movie has so many things right, but does so many things wrong. Believe it or not, I'm not too upset that Rosalina gets captured. I know that a lot of people were upset about that idea, that she's going to be the damsel in distress and that it's going to be Mario and crew rescuing her. More so Peach and crew, let's be fair. But Rosalina doesn't get defeated in the beginning because Bowser Jr. is more powerful than her. She doesn't get defeated in the beginning because Bowser Jr. outwits her. She is giving Bowser Jr. a sound trouncing. And that's when she has to sacrifice herself to save her children. Bowser Jr., instead of fighting Rosalina, started shooting pot shots at where all her children were. And in order to stop the bullet bills from landing and hurting and killing her children, she stopped them, but in doing so, she left herself wide open. Bowser Jr. comes and captures her. I think that right there is, if you're going to capture Rosalina, that's a good way to do it because it shows you how much she loves her children. She's doing this at her expense. She's saving them at the cost of what may become her own life. That's a really good way to introduce a character. You also see her power when she's brought to Bowser Jr.'s planet. She ends up freeing herself from her constraints, helping her child escape, telling her to go to Princess Peach, and then starts fighting Bowser Jr.'s horde off. She's only stopped because the magic of Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush is a little bit too much for her to handle while she's fighting off the whole Koopa army. Again, the introduction for Rosalina herself was very, very well done. But when it comes to Rosalina, her relationship with Peach is really where this movie falls apart. Back in, I believe it was 2015, Game Theory came out with a video that went ballistic on YouTube. This video was called Rosalina Unmasked. It was a two-part video, and the first part has, at this point in time, 16 million views, while the second part has 17 million. This theory stated that Rosalina was the daughter of Peach. It was a really strange video, I thought, when I watched it, especially considering my thoughts on Rosalina at that point in time, and I completely disagreed with it. I thought it was disrespectful to the character of Rosalina. I thought it was disrespectful to the entire Mario franchise, honestly. So when the Super Mario Galaxy movie decided to make Rosalina Peach's older sister, I kind of felt the same way. It doesn't make any sense for a couple reasons. First off, I understand that this isn't part of the canonical Mario universe that we have in the games, but still, Rosalina is already a defined character. She already had an amazing backstory, a backstory that was resubstantiated because the physical version of the storybook came out. Nintendo was wanting to remind us of where she came from. Imagine you took Mario and instead of having him as a plumber, you made him an electrician. Sure, you could do that, but why would you? Mario already has a backstory, and that was only made through arcade and Atari games. Now we have a character with a fully fleshed out backstory, and we're just not going to use that. That irritates me. On top of that, in the first movie, Princess Peach is talking about how she didn't know where she came from. That's a common sentiment I hear from a lot of people that are today saying, oh, I don't know who I am. And with the convoluted idea of Princess Peach being a normal person in a world full of toads, yeah, you're going to ask yourself that question. But to answer that question by saying she's Rosalina's younger sister doesn't answer the question. Rather, it, 1, makes everything more convoluted, and 2, disrespects both of the characters. In the scene where we see Rosalina and Peach together as sisters, Peach is only a baby, and Rosalina is a young teen, we could surmise at least. They're running around on a dead planet together. How in the world did they get there? That brings up so many more questions. If they're sisters, then where did they come from? Who are their parents? Why were they alone on this stranded, dead planet out in the middle of deep space? It makes no sense whatsoever, and it detracts from the story of Rosalina, as well as the story of Peach. If we truly wanted to answer the question, where did Princess Peach come from, you would have to also already have the answer for, well, where did Rosalina come from? In Super Mario Galaxy, we have the answer to that question. Not in this movie. Rosalina's character becomes far more convoluted, far more mysterious, and not in a good way, in more of a confused way. I'm in the middle of the Mario Galaxy series that I'm in right now. I've only made 3 videos. I have a 4th one in the works, but again, school's been a little busy, so I'm planning on getting back to that during the summer break. But eventually I want to make my final part of that series about the character of Rosalina. Who she is, what she represents, her strengths, her past weaknesses, and how she got through them. Rosalina is an amazing character, and to do what they did with her in the movie, it's lazy, and it really disrespects the idea of who she was. The Super Mario Galaxy fails as a good Mario Galaxy movie, but it also fails as a good movie. Again, as I was saying, the plot of the movie is painfully simple. The transitions are terrible, and the movie cares more about making references to obscure games than it cares about making a good story. Sure, it's cool that Bowser comes into the picture. Sure, it's cool that we have Birdo in a movie. It's cool that Star Fox appears. Believe it or not, as much hate as I hear him getting online in a lot of places, I think Star Fox is one of the better characters introduced in this movie. But just the fact that he's there doesn't really make much sense. The Pikmin, okay, they're there. Cool, reference. Game & Watch, he's painted by Luigi. Cool, reference. It doesn't really do anything for the story, though. Most of this movie is just one big reference bag for the sake of making you go, oh, I recognize that. References are not a bad thing, not in the long shot. But when the movie becomes just a whole bunch of references rather than a movie that has a coherent plot, that has good characters, that has good story arcs, that has good character development, then you missed the point. Super Mario Galaxy missed the point in so many ways. It's an hour and a half of a very dull and boring time. Are there a couple cool moments in the movie? Yeah. It's really cool when we see Mario pick up the axe and start fighting Bowser and Bowser Jr. together. It's really cool to see Yoshi running away from the T-Rex that we saw in Mario Odyssey. It's really cool seeing Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi take on enemies in the Mushroom Kingdom, whether that be giant Cheeps or Hammer Bros that are extorting citizens that are walking through for money. These are all cool things, but they don't contribute to the story. I was playing chess with my older brother just last night, and I made a comment that I don't really care to take your pieces unless they help me get close to the king. That's kind of how you want to do a movie as well. You don't want to make scenes unless they're going to get you close to that climactic point where the movie truly pays off. How did this happen? How did we go from Super Mario Galaxy to the Super Mario Galaxy movie? What's the disconnect? How did we go from the hand-drawn storybook that was Rosalina's backstory to what we have now? I think what we're really seeing is a change in the mindset of Nintendo. they're no longer interested in making good products, good stories, good games. They're interested into getting into your wallet at the easiest way possible. They're gonna shovel out random garbage, call it a good game, price it at $60, $70, even $80 these days. I think when Mario Kart came out, that was $90, wasn't it? Nintendo has gone from a shining example of customer service to the most bland company that you could ever envision. Now, I understand that there's a lot of people out here who like the Mario Galaxy movie. I think most of the people that liked it were more so people who liked it because their kids liked it. And if my kids like it, then obviously it's good. I understand that sentiment, and if it entertains kids, cool. But why are you making the Super Mario Galaxy movie? That title is based on a game from 19 years ago. The title of the movie wasn't to draw kids in. It was to draw fans of Super Mario Galaxy, which is one of, if not Nintendo's, most beloved Mario game of all time. It was meant to draw us into the theaters. It was meant to draw us to go watch this movie. So the question now is, what do we do? I don't like seeing Nintendo like this. I don't like seeing them make half-hearted attempts at games or movies and then putting them at designer prices. So what do we do at this point? We who are true fans of Nintendo, who love what's come before and are appalled at what we're seeing right now? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this video and I'm gonna post it onto YouTube, and I'm going to tell people what I think about this movie. The more we get public opinion swinging in our way, the more likely they are to listen to us. And on top of that, I'm gonna do my best to let Nintendo themselves know what I think. My encouragement to you would be that if you don't like what you've been seeing over the past few years that Nintendo's done, especially this movie right here, right now, go buy a little bit of Nintendo stock. It's not very expensive at the moment. It's gone very far down recently. Buy a little bit of that, and then let them know, hey, I'm someone who loves your company. I'm someone who's bought into part of your company, and I'm disappointed in what I'm seeing right now. This needs to change. Will this change anything? Probably not. But if there are enough of us that come in and say, hey, we need change, and if their stock prices keep dropping like they have been over the past year, they might finally come to the point where they realize, okay, we need to change something. And if there's enough of us who raise enough of a stake to let them know that we're not happy with them, who knows? Maybe, just maybe, they might listen. Again, I'm a huge fan of Nintendo, and a huge fan of Super Mario, and a huge fan of Super Mario Galaxy. I was really looking forward to seeing something great this past Thursday. But the past is in the past. The future is still ahead of us, and there's still changes that can be made, and while we can't make these changes ourselves, we can try to help initiate it.